I say, it can happen under pressure. Come and see what's going on in this backland right now, man. So, man, what's going on? I see people digging up this whole place, clearing this place to make an open canal, and they got in the rice field, which they say they're going to use Lancaster existing trench, then we have Lancaster Dam, then we have a blank trench. They say they're going to use that portion to make this canal. How the kitten, you can't kitten. How can they divert from that part and come into the cultivation part? And if they come into this cultivation part, it will not be benefit none of us. Because if you can pass a canal in a cultivation area, what benefit will we have in at that time? Because remember, I am planting here. You put a big canal, I ain't got nothing to plant anymore. Because it's a canal I got to go and plant now. So a benefit, it can benefit me and the rest of the residents in this area. From that date to now, no official, nobody at all were concerned in this canal. Even come and say, well, Mr. Dag, well, this is what going to happen, and this is what's supposed to happen. Up to now, to the date I'm standing here, I did not hear nothing from no official, or no on the other on the government side to say that this canal will got to be here or it will not be here. And this is double wrong. You need somebody come and say concern this canal, because this area, to be honest, I say it again, not designed for this canal. Being designed for that open canal, so. Because if you do that, the safety in front and the destruction at the back. And that is what I'm facing. So we need relevant authority to come on the ground to let us know whatsoever going to be the outreach to whatsoever being destroyed at present moment. Thank you, sir, for now.
Thanks. So that was Mr. Monroe, Winston. Yes. Anybody else here who want anybody? Or Winston would have spoken for all of you.
You mentioned that the survey went down there and they surveyed the place where the canal supposed to pass. The canal supposed to pass from Lancaster Trench coming back to Liverpool Dam, right? Through the kitten. But now you're saying that they dig in the rice field. That is now with the survey. The survey, Lancaster Dam and Liverpool and Lancaster kitten. There's where the survey. Nowhere else. And there's where this, look, that Joker Paul right there now. On the sand there, right? Paul in there down there. River, you not see the Paul? No survey didn't go in the rice field. They go in the rice field on their own. This survey was on the dam. They surveyed the dam from Fort come all the way out. Because they took the Paul right. Now, my son see it. My son was there in the survey. No, well, if we're going to all them houses, then go move some of them houses. They don't go move some of them houses this. Yes. They can't think the race field old more than my grandfather. And my grandfather died when he was 96-year-old. And that's 30 years ago he died. Yeah. No, that's this is reserve. No, it's not reserve. It's stated in our transport. I got my transport.
So we're saying that they come in close to the residential area.
Yeah.
We're saying that they're coming in close to the residential area where houses are in position that people live in.
Yeah.
And you're bringing a canal that will cause hindrance to the entire community so close to a housing area that you would have no control over, you would have no mechanism in place in the event of a severe breach because of heavy rainfall or water pushing down from the back. So we're talking about flooding out two entire community from a canal that there is no genuine plan to build. You know, it's like a $200,000. They talk about $200,000 and then afterwards they talk about $100,000 and they show what they're doing. So if the survey one direction that they're supposed or intended to pass this canal, and then somebody else come behind and survey somewhere else, it's showing that the PPP has no, you know. Well, then we're saying that. Well, we're saying then that no physical. Yeah. It's so then we can conclude to the fact that there were no physical genuine survey, but people walk through and say we survey anything and juke some pal. Because if you can do that in such a hurry, if it can be like what you're saying, if it can be done in such a hurry, it's telling us, and like we've been saying over and over and over, the PPP don't have a clue of what they're doing in this country. They don't have a clue. And that is exactly what we're seeing in these communities again. They're passing canals close.
You understand what I'm saying? They're not supposed to go and those people right. Let them dig with a survey. You understand? They're supposed to dig with a survey.
Well, that is what I'm saying. They don't know what they're doing. Because if you're going to survey one area and then you're going to dig another area, they're not sure what they're doing. You're right. Well, what I'm saying, they don't know what they're doing, and then they're disrupting. Most of all, they're disrupting the livelihood of farmers. They're disrupting the livelihood of people in this community. And so people now would be hindered from making their daily living. And of course, they got to look out for flood in case there is a breach or there heavy rainfall where the water, we always know, would be bracing from the backlands coming towards the sea. So we're talking about a terrible situation arising here in this two community that the resident is facing.
It's nowhere out. I went in the back dam. It's nowhere out. The crippled black people. Yeah, and the cripple, you can't do nothing. So why you go and see? Because you can't left the way it's supposed to. They can go and tail off in the race. Next to reach the kitten. Yeah, and this disrespectful to the fullest. Yeah, and you can't go and do nothing after. You can't plant garden, you can't do nothing. Your name say you get land, you can't do nothing after them. You cowboy people there. So for me concern, it's cowboy in this game. Yeah, understand? And me as a young man now, if I went in the back dam, jail take one for me. Because you see all them come, but them excavator there, supposed to even fire.
Are you ready to
No, so dread because all you see is very nonsense. Yeah, and it's very totally nonsense. You can't plant a kitchen garden when it's done there. In the field. You can't plant a kitchen garden in the field when the man done there.
I have a question. I'm hearing that a survey was done, but the digging is not following the path of the survey. Is that what you're saying?
No, where they're supposed to, where they survey, right? You get Lancaster, Liverpool, but you get Ketten, where they're supposed to widen the trench and take it on the Ketten for quite to the government reserve. Them gone way on in people land.
All right. So in short, if they were to follow Ketley, they're supposed to take it on the Ketley after is what I'm understanding.
Yes.
Who would be affected and how?
Well, same thing you're going to be as. If you take it on Ketten, everybody going to face the same thing. So there's nowhere out you could make a canal there.
All right, so according to you guys, there's no room in this
No.
area for a canal.
No.
What do you suggest? Which area you think this canal should go, if it has to be built?
Most obviously, you could carry it like, why see it? Why seeing? You could carry it like, put, no. You could carry it like Jants will stand a better chance. They get way out in the cave, people they could destroy it.
Johns, and Wim. And if you're saying that it would be more feasible to go through Johns and Wim, well, then we can conclude again. It's nothing more than, MP would have said earlier, we are not promoting racism by any means, and so the PPP must not consider us the way. But if we are going to skip John and we're going to skip Wim, we're talking about skipping East Indian communities. That's the idea. We're skipping East Indian communities.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to go there, and it could be a better option if it's going to be far down in the back. It's far shorter, but we choose, the big government choose to operate in the Afro-Ghanese community because they continue to want to suppress and destroy the African people in this country.
Most obviously.
Question. It is alleged, I don't know, I'm not from this area, that the Minister of Agriculture has a lot of land in the area where the canal rightly should go. And so the option to not dredge in that area is to save the minister's land. Is there any truth to that? Are you aware?
Well, like saying, there's a lot of allegation that is made. And we would have said it is alleged, as you would have heard, that the minister owns a lot of land, not only there, all over the quarantine, Carbon Creek and all in place. There are allegations that is made of Mustafa own 20 land out of place. And it's allegation that is well known.
Thank you.
We feel disrespect. We feel that we were bullied. And you might have asked me why I'm saying this. I can recall the day when we have the discussion. It is not a consultation. What we agree upon, that the minister and his team is going to come back to do further consultation. And it is surprising to me to see that the minister did not honor his word. He moved directly with machines and started to do what he wanted to do. So as a community resident, I feel really disrespect. You can't hold the minister to his word, because I, for one, can't trust the minister anymore. I am saying this because I believe that if there was a plan, therefore the first thing you needed to do is compensation. Call everybody in who you feel, based upon the plan, would be affected. Call them and start to deal with a package, a compensation package. This is react to destruction. And so if themselves they want to compensate us, whether we're going to there at the position to hold the true value to for our lands or whatsoever, we can, talk about the true value because we things are already destroyed. If you started to put this system in place in front, then we get a position to talk about our property. I am saying that this is another occasion, this is another incident of bullying, and we're not prepared to take this bullying. This is definitely bullying. We're not prepared to take bullying.
And like MP Madam said, we also will have to make full use of the legal mind so that we will not be trampled upon. Because, the PPP good at manipulating situations and then they capitalize it. So we have to make sure that it is happening in such a way that when we deal with it, people are properly compensated and compensated in such a way that they will not lose anything whatsoever from bullying that they're trying to bring to these villages.
Good afternoon, everybody. For me, sorry, my name is Natasha Monroe. Concerning this canal, like Canal for Lancaster, Liverpool area. My first thought about this canal was very frightening in the first instance. Let me tell you, let my husband tell you, Winston, what he can tell you. I was mad about this idea of bringing a canal into our area because I said, this is a residential area. You have children, people, the very busy part where people going to and fro have houses. How can you bring a canal as Hope like Canal into our area? Right? Because look at Hope Canal, it's a far different landscape than our landscape. And so it's not suitable for our area in the first place. Now you come and push it down our throat. Then on top, you come and put icing on it and you come and dig up the people land. You know, and so what's happening to our people? What's happening? What's going to happen to our generation? This is like a total destruction. Look at it, right from my point of view, you know? And I'm not in agreement with this canal in our area because it's not suitable for here in the first place. I was at this same meeting that the minister was here. Let me tell you, the minister was so arrogant. He didn't listen to anybody's concern. It was the engineer that were here, 3 engineers remaining, and myself and Uncle Rai just gone home. He's not feeling that well. And we went to those and they said, no, we're not in agreement with this canal that y'all intend to bring to our area. Why y'all choose to bring it here? He said, it's not going to affect y'all. He said they're going to utilize the back space on the dam, like extend one of those dams at the back to widen the back part when they reach a people area, like where people live in. They're going to just use the same existing canal that is there, but put walls on it. But today, it's something totally different we're having from these people, and it's unacceptable. Let me tell you, WIM is a better place for them to put this canal. Because once WIM has a straight access from WIM, from the joining the canal, the creek canal, where it's called the big canal, big Torndam canal, straight out through WIM access and out into the Atlantic. For this area, they'll have to turn this canal when they reach it at the end of our area, at the outfall there, at the out portion there. I got to swing back still and go back to WIM. So it doesn't make sense to bring it here when you can just put it through WIM and go straight out into the Atlantic. Thank you.
Question. How many farmers will be affected? Numbers. Everybody is not a number boss. 700 to 800 acres of land. Farmland. And in terms of, so it's 700 to 800 acres of land, farmland plus residential area. Is the destruction of the farmland going to be total or partial? Total. So how many persons are there living from those farmlands now?
Baby and children to come. Because it started straight. My grandfather was there, because with my father with cow. And we start come at the bottom. So it's future generation. So don't ask how much body anymore. Is the future generation going to be the big thing? This destruction. No benefit again no more. I would live in here, they dig up a pond there. So then the sand gonna grow back. Today, the pond still there, non-sand not grow back. Is why run from there going there. So when they dig the not now grow back, you can't get non-benefit at all closed down. It's closed down. Because if you're gonna use a agriculture area past a canal, what benefit are we going to have? We can't farm anymore, you're going to canal and farm. No man, 0.
Thank you.
One quick question. If you can share some light on this. The lands in, I know of Manchester, I don't know for Liverpool. The lands in Liverpool, are the lands ancestral lands? Proprietors. All right. Secondly, when the minister came here, they turned out with the residents. You had full participation of the residents? Because why I asked the question, if the minister came here and you didn't have the residents coming out in more or less a full force, it would mean that they feel they can do anything as they please. All right? Okay. Now what has to happen based on my own thinking, what has to happen from now on, there needs to be some form of protest starting with this whole situation right now. Right? That's just my thinking. The residents in this area need to start moving to a stage where they start protesting what's happening at the back here.
All right. I'm listening to you and I'm amazed with what I'm hearing. Like most of you would know, I live right across there. And if we are going to put a Hope Canal here, it means that all the houses behind there, all the houses from this street here, everybody that living behind there, they're going to be affected. Now, where do you put those folks when you have to dig the canal? Where are you going to relocate them? You're sending them to Wim, you're sending them to Auckland. Where are those folks going to be going? Now, those were the kinds of conversations that you were supposed to have had with me. Now, this seems to be the replay of another Mucker, another Peters Hall. And you notice, Mucker, Peters Hall, Liverpool, Lancaster. You notice the resemblance, the similarity? Now, we cannot continue to afford to have ill-prepared plans. And in my mind, there is absolutely no plan. As a matter of fact, there is a plan to destroy. That's the plan. Because everybody who living behind there, Cousin Star, what's your name? Cousin Star, daughter, and all of them, Joe, all of y'all were living at the back there. Everybody who living at the back there, gotta move. Now, two things we are going to have happening there. No more farmlands for you to farm. And then our children are at risk. Because children are going to be children. Who will supervise them when they go at the back there? Somebody jump in the trench, somebody jump to save somebody, and all of them die. And so we have to stand up against this. While we would want to have development in our community, development doesn't happen willy-nilly. It has to be a planned process. And that process must entail consultation, which is one of the things that the PPP are afraid of. They don't like consultation. They don't like you to talk back to them. And that's why they're so arrogant when they come around. When you ask them questions that are of importance to you, they get very arrogant. Now, we were supposed to have had this consultation, and we walk with the residents, and we go down there, and we look around, and we see, well, this plot here, this one is going to be affected. How are we going to get over to Lancaster? Now, when you put that big canal over there, what happens? Total separation between the two villages. So if you want to get to Lancaster, are they saying that they're going to build a bridge across? No bridge across. So you have to go all the way around to get to somebody there. Nobody isn't thinking. Somebody needs to think. And so we see there is no proper planning. So we will have to, like I said, we will have to continue to talk with you. We will have to continue to go out there and to let them know that these lands that you're talking about, these reserves that you're talking about, they're not actually reserves. Your reserves are far away from what you're talking about. What you're invading is our space, and we must maintain our spaces. When you take away our livelihood, we have no more livelihood. So you're sending us to either thief, and some of us ain't got luck like some people like Brutus and so on to get them hundreds of millions. So how do you exist? How do you support your families after that? They ain't got cane growing like that now so that you can go and cut cane. Cane ain't making monies now. So what systems are there in place for you? Absolutely none. And then we have a whole cycle. Father, children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, everybody suffering all over again. And that's not fair. We are Guyanese. We live here. Every single one of you, all the faces who I can see here, every one of you been living here for the longest while. And who you inherited land from your grandfather, your mother, your everybody. And all these lands are transported lands. These are lands that we pay rates and taxes for. And you don't pay rates and taxes for government reserve. You don't pay rates and taxes for that. Government reserve is government reserve. If you go there and you squat, and then they tell you after a while you have to remove. But you pay rates and taxes for your own personal property that is transported. And so it's not going to be a walkover, let me put it that way. For the government to come here under the pretext or the pretense or under the guise of wanting to talk about development, and you're destroying us. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen by any chance. Putting a canal there means I can't do anything else there. There is nowhere for me. So what happens with my cows? What happened with the farmland that I had there? What happens with everything else that used to happen there? Nothing can happen because you can't plant in water. You can't put the cows in the water. You can't put your sheep there. So Mr. Mustafa will have to come here and talk to us properly. The engineers will have to come and speak with us. And you know what I find disgusting is the fact that when we have serious concerns, the ministers don't find themselves there, you know. But when they got concerns in other areas, even the president is turned up. You know? And so this disrespect has got to stop. It got to stop. Again, we are all Guyanese. And we're entitled to what this land possesses. We're not asking for anything more. We don't want to covet anything that anybody has. We want to maintain what is ours and to continue to use that. Rather than coming to put a canal, you should be desilting these canals that we have here to improve the drainage and irrigation. That's what you're supposed to do. Bring the machines and let them dig these canals here. I remember from since long, you remember there was a time when this canal here, you could walk across it. Y'all remember those days? The canal at the back, so you remember you could walk across it, how much mud used to be sliding in there. That's what they need to do, come and desilt the canals. And when you do that, we'll have enough water to pump into our farmlands. We don't want you to come and build the canal here. This is not Hope. Hope is that side. Hope got big space where nobody is occupying. So you could have afforded to do that there. Here, people are occupying the space and we're not going to tolerate that. Do we have anybody else who would want to share? And then we'll take our walk down the line there so that we can see exactly what is happening. You're breaking, okay. Well, that seems to be the operation of the day. And like we recommended, WIM, and some land down there at John's and so on. Use that space where you don't have people occupying. You're going to tell me all these coconut trees and so on, we got to chop them down? That's what you're saying to us? We got to chop all of them down? All them guinea trees and so on? I remember Da used to live behind there with the guinea trees and the tamarind trees, and so we can cut all of those down under the guise of what? Development? No, man, you don't destroy what is there to develop again. You enhance what you have. You don't destroy. So, Sharon, over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to speak from the level of the NDC as the chairperson. What I was called based on this issue, at the moment, nobody from the NDIA or even, let me say, Ministry of Agriculture, reach out to the NDC or communicate with us saying that, you know, machines will be coming into the area to start this project. But what happened is that they brought the machines and they start the work, they start the project. Upon investigation at the NDC level, these lands that the government came in to clear up belongs to proprietors. Everybody's, the owners who came in, we check the books, we see that they're transported in numbers, they're paying their rates and tax up to date. Of any project being carried out in this area by the government at the time. However, he would have, you know, do some calls and find out what's happening. I tried to reach out to Minister Zulfikar. He didn't answer his phone. And to date, he has not tried to reach out to me. I'm sure he see the missed call. I'm certain he's aware of the situation. However, I think it's on social media I went and I saw some other media houses, you know, put out a statement saying that, with Minister Zulfikar's voice, maybe on a phone call, saying that it's wrong. None of the authorities have reached out to the NDC or even the residents or the rice farmers or those who are being affected. Nobody. So I quite agree with what MP McDonald said. They're destroying to build. You understand? Because from my view, when you come in and you take up those lands, what happened to the people after them? As one guy say, generations to come will be affected, right? So we're pleading the relevant authority, come in and let us talk, because it's not going to end nice. It's very political. Thank you.
So, Roy, let's go. We're gonna go down to as far as we can go. We have a plan. Yes, yes, yes.
Morning.
Okay, folks, we are now going to take a trip down to the farmlands. Yeah, taking a trip down the farmlands so that we can have a first-hand view of what's happening down there. But what I can say to you is that we won't be able to bring that live because of the internet situation. Okay, so maybe, well, not maybe, definitely on tomorrow's program, I might be able to get some videos to show you and we'll continue this conversation. Have a good afternoon.